So what we are asking ourselves, is this a bull trap? We've seen this before. We've seen reaction, we've seen trap, we've seen reaction, we've seen trap. Ultimately, what we are doing since yesterday's show is we are getting a little bit of a reaction and we're starting to slightly break a trend to the upside. Okay, cool. Now, the big question is this a bull trap? We're starting to see some altcoins fly. I see we had a Litecoin rip. I see we had a BNB rip as well. And now the big question is there still a capitulation coming? And ultimately, is those lower targets still happening? And what's the best thing to do right now? So what I'm going to show you guys is this is where it does get tricky, because ultimately the market has gone sideways. And from this, we shouldn't be too surprised at some point if there is a short squeeze. There's tons of people placing shorts in these areas. I would say there's probably a good stop loss area over here where lots of those shorts have stop losses currently. And if Bitcoin does make its way to those areas, we might get a short squeeze and ultimately possibly giving us that push to the 18K. Or the next thing that we can argue, maybe this is the bottom. And ultimately, for this to be the bottom, we would want to see Bitcoin go back to 21K pretty fast, get back to a higher high, and we continue from all the mess that has previously happened, because it looks like the DCG and all of that is actually okay. And it looks like there isn't too much worries until May of next year, when they have to apparently pay back the actual loans. So what I'm seeing this is either way, we can get a strong reaction and maybe we get the low and the basic recovery. But if that does happen, all eyes go back on Bitcoin. So for me, what I'm showing you in this show is I'm showing you altcoin to Bitcoin pairing. I'm showing you how I'm actually turning some of my altcoins that I still have left in my long-term portfolio. I'm sitting on a good amount of cash, how I'm turning them into Bitcoin. Because if there is a pullback from here, altcoins will get slaughtered. And let's say the new lows or capitulation does happen, I want to be in Bitcoin over altcoins. Or Bitcoin pumps and dominance turns up and Bitcoin gets back to the key major areas, and then we can diversify back into altcoins, knowing that that's actually a confirmation now and not just an actual guess. It's a big show, guys. Let's hit it, James. Let's start the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, hope you're all having a fantastic day. If you are brand new, smash the subscribe button. If you're part of the family, smash the like button. How are you all feeling? Pop in the comments. Bull trap? Bottom? What are we feeling? Pop in the comments, guys. I'd love to know what you're all feeling. Let me actually have a look at the comments. What are we feeling? Bull trap or bottom? That's what I want to know. I want to know what everyone's feeling right now. Let's have a look. Bottom. Okay. Bull trap. We've been here before. Okay, amazing, guys. So I'm not going to take too long quickly on the intro. Remember to follow me on Twitter, guys. We're giving a lot of charts and I'm doing a lot of Bitcoin. I'm actually posting Bitcoin analysis charts on my Twitter straight after this. The next thing to also be quite excited about is straight after the show, guys, we're going into a Twitter Spaces and a live YouTube for the next few hours. And basically, we're going to be sharing tons of alpha, different guests, and that's happening straight after the show. So you'll find the links below in the description. Remember, guys, if you are opening any accounts, to use our links below, you get sign-up bonuses. We have a few trading competitions as well as a Bitget World Cup, and we have our own personal Bitget trading competition if you want to keep yourself busy at these times. The ByBit trading competition. We have great specials to OKX. I am dropping some OKX videos on the weekend. I think you're going to be quite impressed with their platform. And that's about it. Remember to follow my Sniper channel as well. Please, guys, show lots of love. So let's jump in and let's have a look. So is this, we spoke about previously the offload zone of 18K. Is this a possible another push there? And then we do still have that big leg to the downside. I think a lot of people are going to argue and be like, is it the bottom? Are we going to the downside? There's no more sellers. Down, baby, down. So you can kind of feel, see, this is where it gets quite tricky, guys, because everyone is still saying this is a bull trap and it's going down. And we do know this market likes to play on that and ultimately do what the market does not expect. So we cannot sit here, what are we trying to do right now? We're trying to guess where's the bottom. We have the areas of 10 to 14K that the whole world is expecting us to go to now, and we're expecting a capitulation there. That's the first thing. But ultimately, the market can bottom anywhere, and it's done it many times. Maybe 15K 500 or 15K 700 was the bottom, and we don't know that. So we got to ultimately keep changing strategies and keep giving us what the market's showing us. Right now, this could still be a very big possible play. We do need a higher low, so I'll go through a higher high. Sorry, I'll go through short time frame data now to see that this is still a possibility to these areas. But ultimately, this is still a big play of offload zone of Bitcoin going to 18K offload zone, and then the next possible downside. I got random man here.
Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news!
Tell me.
Our Twitter Spaces is delayed. We're going to start about an hour after your shows.
Oh,
so we're not going to start immediately.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
What's happening in the markets, bro?
We're talking about the pump, bro, to see if it's actually a real pump or not. So I think everyone's trying to guess the bottom, and everyone's expecting 10, 14K as the bottom, which we know the market may not respect always. So ultimately, for me, I'm seeing turning altcoins into Bitcoin now is a good idea, because if the market pumps, dominance is going up. What would you do? I'm
buying. So does anyone want to buy a kidney? I have a kidney I need to sell.
You're selling your kidney?
I need to sell my kidney because of what I'm seeing. There's so much amazing stuff going on.
No, I agree. Yeah. Why is Litecoin pumping?
Because that's what Litecoin does. That's what.
Like why is Litecoin literally going to the moon right now and going crazy? Any idea? You were saying possibilities.
Bitcoin says it's regulation. It's going to be in Litecoin's favor.
Regulations.
I mean, if it's in Litecoin's
favor,
it's got to be in Bitcoin's favor, right?
Why is this going crazy?
Because Litecoin does that.
Okay, Litecoin does that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as SNM. That token, I think it's called SNM. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Did you see what happened? Go to that SNM chart on Binance.
SNM. Yeah.
On Binance? Yeah.
Okay,
go on Bitget. I'm sure it's also there. Let's have a look. You'll see.
No way, dude. Dude, that thing went to $14. That's crazy. Okay, amazing. So, guys, I saw someone saying here in the comments, it's no point guessing. It's about accumulating. And I agree. Of course, I agree. It's ultimately, a lot of people are in the boat of
Sheldon,
buying. Yeah.
Are you doing your pilot's license?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I am. I'm doing my pilot's license.
Come in.
Testing. I think I look like a pilot. What you're telling me about my headphones. Yeah, I suppose it is quite. So guys, it's not about the.
Carry on.
Are you doing the plan? You need those things. What are those things called? So guys, it's not about, guessing. It's about a lot of people are 99% in. Some of them have maybe got a little bit off on the offload zone. So accumulating is a brave thing to say if you got capital. Of course. Dollar cost on all the cheap shit right now. Just dollar cost, you're going to make tons of money. Like you're buying stuff at such incredible rates and such incredible spots and have more money to accumulate more if it goes down. But not everyone's in that boat. Everyone's got to start making big decisions about being overexposed in the market right now. And what do we actually do next? So ultimately on the show, I want to give both sort of views. Of course, accumulate through these times makes sense. But ultimately, you've got to start playing smart and understanding that when the market's going to these areas, what do you do? Especially when you've made a mistake of entering too high, or putting too much money in throughout these times. Very important to have that basic understanding. So what I'm doing, guys, is I look at a few simple charts, Right now, if the bullish play plays out, and let's say Bitcoin does decide to go back to 18K, maybe even 21K, this is the time that it will do it. We'll basically look, we need a higher high first. So nice to see Bitcoin get to around 17K on this current push. Then come down and test around 16K, and then go and make the next higher high, because it will officially have its first higher low. You can see right now, the stochastic 8-hour is getting to the top, the 4 hours at the top. So for me, I want to see Bitcoin go slightly higher than where it is now. Then we have a reset of RSIs. If the RSIs have bottomed, 8-hour and 4-hour have bottomed, and we've held this trend, it's a good time to say, okay, it looks like Bitcoin wants to offload or pump again and go towards 18. Where are those targets? 18K, this previous wick where we got an offload zone. After that, there's a huge ass gap that takes us all the way back to the 20K mark. This could happen, could definitely happen at any point. But we cannot be guaranteed on that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at a few charts. The first chart that I'm looking at is the dominance, and I'm looking at what is Bitcoin dominance doing right now as we speak. Is starting to tank. Cool, correct. I see that clearly. But ultimately for me, I see dominance coming down, higher low. And if Bitcoin breaks the key areas, I see it spiking up. I see us actually having a strong push to the downside from dominance. Now, dominance right now has been accumulating sideways because the market's been doing temporarily the same sort of thing. But if Bitcoin decides to break 18K and really start to move, I see dominance actually shooting up at some point, and I see Bitcoin running first and then the actual altcoins. Now, we've got to look at the pros and cons of both. What happens if Bitcoin does have a successful test and its bullishness? The whole market will erupt. Bitcoin will erupt. Dominance isn't really going crazy in one favor. So Bitcoin will pump and so will the altcoins. Everything will basically rally up. What happens if this is a fake out and Bitcoin from here tanks down and we break back into this trend and we shoot down? Altcoins are going to get absolutely murdered, right? But Bitcoin, you know, let's look at the percentages. And I went through this the other day. 40% risk on altcoins right now, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And on Bitcoin, you know, we have the risk of 15%. So you got 15% and you got 40%. These are your two risk assets. Okay. If the market explodes from here, you probably got a 20% growth in Bitcoin and a 30% growth in altcoins. So slightly higher from altcoins. So altcoins obviously way more risk to the downside if it goes wrong. And yes, outperformance of Bitcoin if it goes up, but ultimately it's the same. Bitcoin is going to do very similar to that. And there's not a crazy difference. You know, until Bitcoin does go to 20, comes back, resets, and then all of a sudden we have an altcoin catch up. We have time basically for the altcoins. So the way I'm looking at this is I'm focusing on Bitcoin pairing. This is something that for me is important, and it's a very valuable skill to understand. What is your problem right now? The problem is you don't want to get out the market in case it pumps, right? That's the big issue. If it dumps, you want to be in the safest assets. And the way you do that is stay in the market then. Don't get out of the market then, but ultimately trade to Bitcoin, trade to the safest asset. If the markets do go terribly wrong and we capitulate, 15, 20% down in Bitcoin, 40, 45% down in altcoins. So ultimately Bitcoin, you will still farm, you'll still make, you know, extra 20 to 50% of altcoins by being in Bitcoin if the market does decide to actually collapse. So what I've done is I've taken many of the coins and I want to show you that a lot of them, while we wait for this pullback, because a pullback is going to happen soon, a short-term pullback. Maybe we have a little higher high from Bitcoin first, that's fine. But Bitcoin's going to pull back because the 4-hour and the 8-hour RSIs are telling us that it's going to pull back. Amazing. Now, if I go to the Bitcoin pairing, I have the 4-hour and 8-hour on the altcoins, all showing me that we are in an overbought position, except ETH. I'll speak about ETH in a minute. But look at all of them. Majority of them, 4 hours. There we go. 4 hours for all of them are sitting at the overbought position. You can see over here. You can see with MATIC. You can see many of them are sitting in this higher areas of the actual RSI. So you can see here very clearly. At some point, we're going to have a pullback to actual Bitcoin. So the way I'm doing this now is I still believe, and I have to believe when my chart breaks a trend line, that it's bullish and these sort of things, but prep yourself. This is the perfect time for me to turn some of my altcoins into Bitcoin until we've had this pullback. Because we want to see, does this pullback hold the line and does it make a higher low? If it doesn't, we're going down hard, very hard. And you got to be prepared for that. So ultimately for me, I'm turning my Link into Bitcoin right now. I'm turning my MATIC into Bitcoin right now. I'm turning my AVAX into Bitcoin right now. So I'm actually taking, for the first time, with the money that I have in the market, I'm looking at probably 60 to 70% of my capital sitting in Bitcoin. Getting out of these altcoins because my RSIs are overbought in many of them. BNB, look at this, absolutely crazy growth against Bitcoin right now, which is amazing. DOT as well. Guys, yesterday we up 10% on the DOT entries. We up 10% on the Theta entries. We got some good laddering in buys, and that's why it's so important to dollar cost when the market's tanking. When you see those days of 12%, 15%, especially in this bottom range, it's huge opportunity for you to accumulate throughout those times. But ultimately, look at these altcoins, guys. I am not seeing strength against Bitcoin. The only ones that are tremendously strong against Bitcoin is BNB. So possibly keeping a BNB position can make sense. But the rest of them, look at Chainlink. Chainlink for me, high, yes, but ultimately a big pullback first before it breaks any other barriers. So for me, I'd rather be in Bitcoin than Chainlink for the next day or two. MATIC, lower high for me, not even close to the bigger ranges just yet. And ultimately, I'm seeing it come back down to these major areas. When these RSIs on the 4-hour and the 8-hour on the Bitcoin pairing hits the bottom and Bitcoin holds that trend, then you deploy straight back into the altcoins. You farmed firstly 5 or 10% more altcoins. And now it's confirmation. Get into the altcoins now, because now the market is looking at really making its way back to 18 or 20K. But for now, it's showing me very clearly on a lot of these tokens, there's a higher low here. We're breaking trends, but there's no higher highs for me here. There's no crazy strength. And the RSIs are telling me that the time has to happen now. So ultimately, I'm turning majority of my altcoins into Bitcoin throughout this move. Once I have Bitcoin come back down, so this is where your stochastic RSIs are powerful. Bitcoin, I think, goes slightly higher than where we are right now, a little bit more upside, and that's where I'm using the time to shift my altcoins. When this comes down and my RSIs are at the bottom and we hold, Bitcoin holds $16,000. Okay. And then I jump to my altcoins and I go look at them all to the Bitcoin pairing. And I see Solana is at the bottom. And I see Cardano is at the bottom. And I see all of these are at the bottom. RSIs are all oversold. Amazing. For me, that is now when I deploy back. So what are we doing here? We're being smart in case this is a fake out. We're in the safest asset other than stable tokens. We're being smart. And secondly, if the market erupts, we're still making money. And on the retest, we get back into the altcoins, but it's confirmed that we are back in a slightly upwards trend right now. So you're not missing out if the market goes against you, or if the market decides to pump or anything like that starts to happen. And this is where, guys, if you can actually learn a very powerful skill of learning to not trade to the dollar, you'll be very surprised how good you become in this market. That dollar has such a thing on us, and we're so attached to it. If you trade pairs, between ETH and Bitcoin and altcoins and Bitcoin, you're trading two volatile tokens. So ultimately, you have one day where Solana is doing better than Bitcoin. And then 2 days later, you have Bitcoin doing better than Solana. And the difference is if you are in Solana and Solana outperforms Bitcoin over that day, you're making Bitcoin. And if you're in Bitcoin and it outperforms Solana, you're making Solana. So we currently always used to trading a stable pairing, where one of them, with the token, if it does well, determines the gains that you make. But if you're trading a volatile token to another token, two tokens that move in value, you'll be very surprised how strong that you can actually farm each of those tokens when this is actually happening. When oversold, here's it here. When oversold, switch back to altcoins. Boom, now you got it. Firstly, protected. So if the market tanks from here and all of a sudden we dump through the damn floor, you're in Bitcoin, and you can get altcoins extremely cheap. This chart is showing us that it gets very, very, very bloody if that does happen. And ultimately, if the market explodes from here, cool. You've made money on Bitcoin. Now you diversify back into the altcoins. So guys, focus on this pairing and understanding. Go look at all of them. The 4-hour and the 8-hour are at the tops right now. So be aware of that. And when this is done, we've confirmed, okay, Bitcoin is looking a bit stronger now. Maybe this is the temporary bottom. Okay, cool. Now we get back into altcoins. Be smart, guys. Don't give yourself heart attacks. If you're going to try and make a decision now that this is a breakout or something like that, and you're wrong, you're going to hurt yourself. If you're saying that this is the bottom, or you're saying that the capitulation is still coming and the market pumps, you're going to hurt yourself. You know, you're ultimately putting yourself at risk. So learn to not get out of the market. Just trade to the safest pairs. And both tokens are very volatile, which means you can farm to each other. But ultimately, you're not exiting the market when we're in the bottom range. Because when a pump comes at any point, don't be surprised to open your eyes and Bitcoin's at 20K. Does 14 or 10K come before that? Maybe. But at any point, it can shift and it can rip really quickly. So guys, I wanted to explain that to you guys and say, for me, through these times, I'm in Bitcoin now. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I love altcoins, but I'm being smart right now on the current position of where we're at in the market. Let's actually have a quick look at the stock market. Also rallying strong, slow grind up right now. It's not a crazy strong market to the upside. We have the 4-hour RSI at the top as well, showing that the short-term pullback coming there at any point. Let's look at the Dixie. Dixie higher low for me now. RSI reset. It's showing at some point Dixie is going to have another push. It never got to my area. So for me, there's still upside in Dixie. Still another possible down leg. So that's just another indication explaining that there's a short-term pullback coming. And it may be a fake out. It may be a bull trap, definitely. So guys, that's it. So the next thing I do want to show you guys quick is Binance. So a big thing on Binance, guys, is people are asking what's the safest place to be in, especially South Africans. Binance is available for us now, and leverage trading is back. Now, I don't want to speak about leverage and 10x and these sort of things. No, I want to explain to you something. If this market does decide to capitulate and you want to learn how to short, ultimately you can use a 1x. You don't have to use leverage. You don't have to do 2x. You don't have to risk liquidation. You don't want to lose your money. It's fine. But ultimately, these platforms and the futures on Binance, you know, you have a 1x and you're able to short. That's all that you want to know. I don't want to do leverage. I don't want to get liquidated, but I can short. You can short on a 1x. And one thing that's powerful, the difference between spot trading and leverage shorting is on futures, it's purely dollar-based. So if you want to make money and $50 a day and these sort of things, you know, ultimately you use the futures on a 1x. And if you get a short right, you make dollars. The difference on a short on spot is you make tokens. If you get out and you buy cheaper, you've made Bitcoin, but you haven't made actual physical dollars that you want to use to spend. So remember, guys, for all the South Africans, leverage is back to the Binance. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I used to trade on this a lot in the beginning. It's back in SA. And for anyone in the different countries in the world, wherever you're from, remember the power of this platform, the volume of it as well. And ultimately, use this to your advantage. You don't have to become a risky trader. You can short. Learn how to short, guys. If the market capitulates, and how do you learn how to short? You know, you basically take very simple trends, very simple things, and I'll show you exactly how you learn how to short. You take the Bitcoin chart on the 1 hour right now. You draw this trend in play. We drop that trend. You take a short. You look at where are the previous areas that we can bounce. You put your take profits in play, and you make your little percentages, and you make your capital on that short. You take the short there, you put a stop loss above your previous high over there. You know, learn these little things, guys. It's quite simple. So the Binance platform, for me, I'm very happy that they are back. Extremely happy that they are back. And remember, you can use this. I actually had a successful trade this morning, which was a theta trade. We'll actually see if it's here. Theta, there we go. We got in at, let's see, trade history. We'll see exactly where we got in. So that's where we got out. Where did we buy? Say again. 1 week. I'll show you guys. There we go. So I bought Theta at 84 cents. And I got it at 87. Cool. Made the cash. Still trading the small little ranges, guys. So Binance is here for you guys. They are fantastic. Best volume out there. And remember with Binance as well is you can do the pairs as well. If you want to trade to Bitcoin pairs and the ones that I've been explaining to you guys, these charts over here, all the Bitcoin pairing charts, Binance is probably the top place to do that. They've got really extremely good volume when it comes to actual pair trading and these sort of things. So use Binance, guys. Remember, in an hour, we do have the Twitter spaces. So go to my Twitter, go to Run's Twitter, and you'll see when we live, you'll see it at the top that we are live and that we have the Twitter spaces running. It's going to be on YouTube and it's going to be on Twitter as well. So you can either have just the what do you call it? Just the audio, or you can have the video as well. Powerful, guys. We're looking at seriously shifting a lot of our business into Twitter right now. It's doing incredibly well. And what Elon's doing there is fantastic, guys. So sum it all down. going into Bitcoin now is probably one of the best plays. If the market pumps, you're still in the market. If the market dumps, it's going to way outperform altcoins, and you're going to save yourself a lot of not getting a heart attack throughout those times. Learn the skill, very powerful. If market does pump through a really critical area, dominance will go up. If the market tanks, dominance will go up. So right now, being in Bitcoin makes a lot of sense. Remember with Binance, guys, we have Binance back in South Africa. Leverage. If you want to trade, don't do high risk. Just learn how to short. In case the market does only offer downwards for the next week or two, let's say the worst does play out, you're still able to make money. Very important. And yeah, have a fantastic day. Remember to join our Twitter spaces, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love, Banter fam.